Welcome to Mini Modernz. My name's Simone and thank you for joining me on my tiny corner on the miniature interweb where we're here to think big and build small. So let's get into it. So today, guys, I'm going to be showing you part one of my printable drinking set. I'm going to show you how to make a tray to get started. This is all going to be available in my Etsy store. I will leave a link in the description for anyone who wants to go ahead and get themselves one of these printable kits. So like I said, we're going to be starting with the drinking tray today, and you can print this out on whatever paper you choose, but I do recommend 120 GSM for that extra thickness, and also some cardstock to stick it on. So you see here it's got a nice little thickness to the paper. It just helps the tray to be a little bit more sturdy. This is also available as an SVG file for anyone who's got a Cricut Maker machine and wants to use it on there using different materials, so it's totally optional there. So what you want to do is get your glue and then stick your template down onto some cardstock. So simply use whatever you've got to stick this down. Really nice and simple. And you want to do this with all of the template. So cutting out all of these pieces and sticking them all onto some cardstock. So you've got something a little bit like this. So I've made a few different styles so you can have them in different rooms depending on your style and preference, and not to mention that you can add your own flair to it as well, which I'll show you a little bit later on. And all of the tray bases have matching handles, so you can see I've tried to just give it its own little flair there. So what you want to do is get something to cut out the holes for the handles. I'm just going to use a hand drill. You can use a toothpick, whatever you like, but just make sure that your cardstock is dry so it doesn't tear when you are cutting through this, and just simply go through with your hand drill. And then I again go through it with a you can use a nail file, a toothpick, whatever you've got on hand to kind of make that hole a little bit bigger, and just shave it down, file it down until you get the right kind of look that you want. This just helps to smooth out the shape a little bit more and get rid of the excess paper that you don't need. So just take your time with this until you've got all of the handles open and ready to use. So for each part of the outer handles and the tray, it's going to be doubled up. So that's why I've got two of each part, and these are going to be cut out and then stuck back to back, so you still have that kind of wooden texture on both sides. If you are doing this as an SVG file, then you wouldn't actually really need to do this. You can just use the template as your cutting tool. But if you are doing this on paper and cardstock, this is just a really good way to still get that wooden look. And then once you've got your handles cut out, we're just going to stick these back to back. We do this to give it that nice little bit of thickness and firmness and representation of a real tray. So you've got your two pieces like this, and then just using your glue, we're going to just stick them back to back. And then continue doing this for the other handle and the rest of the frame around the tray. Also neaten things up as you go along. I've got these tools here, these different filing tools, and they're really handy. Just take your time with it. The glue will help as well to seal down any of those pieces that you don't want flaring up, but just get it as neat as you can and just go all around the middle part of the handle there. So now with all your pieces cut out and doubled up, I'm going to show you how to do the handles and the frame of the tray, and also show you how to add some more textures and details if you want to change the style of the tray. So especially with these corner pieces here, what you want to do is put the glue all along the base edge of the tray and then the side pieces, because these are what are going to connect together. So if you see like here, I'm just putting on the base of the tray and on the edge piece of the rim, and then you want to stick them all the way around so it just looks like this. It's really, really simple, and just clean up any edges as you go. I kind of added a little bit of a wet wipe stain to this. I'm not gonna lie, it was a happy mistake, but then I liked it. I was like, I'm gonna work with that. You can use whatever you like to gloss this up. I'm gonna use some nail varnish, some clear nail varnish, but you can use Mod Podge or whatever you've got to hand to add some gloss to this. I'm also going to show you how to add some extra detail to make this tray look a bit more unique to the style of whatever room you're doing. So I've got these basic marker pens. I've got them from Amazon. I will, as usual, be leaving a link in the description for everything that I'll be using here. So I'm just going to go over the edge of this. You do not have to do this. You can just keep it as is, or if you've got some paint and you want to paint it the same color, you can do that. But I kind of wanted to give it like a dark tone on the top of the tray, and then I'm going to go over with some varnish, and then I'm going to just add some extra lines for details, just to change up the style of this a little bit. So you can see this looks like it's been used a little bit, but I actually really like that look. I'm also going to show you how to clean up the edges, and this is again optional. So here is a black one that I wanted to be a bit more modern. It still needs to set and dry a bit more, but you can see this is the general style. And we've got another one here. This again I think is a very modern look. This time I'm gonna probably gloss this one first before I put it all together, and just to let it dry so my fingerprints and there's no glue underneath the gloss. So these are just different ways of putting this together, and it's a good way to experiment. And with printables you can reuse and retest and change things as you go, so you learn as you go as well, which is really great about this. And I also want to show you how you can neaten this up as well with these extra trimmings that I've put on. Again, this is optional because you might want to keep that nice rustic look, but if not, if you want to have a nice smooth edge, I've got this trimming here and I'm going to show you how to do that. So with the black one I've already put the trimming on, but again you'll have to cut out the holes where the handles will be using the same technique that we did earlier on. So once you're happy with the handle cut out and the trimming, you can just use your marker pen again just to conceal any of those white bits of paper, or you can use paint or anything just to give it that extra realistic look. Again, this is all optional. You do not have to do this. You can even leave the handle cutouts there if you do not want to cut them out. That's all optional as well. It's just a preference thing at this point. And because I particularly wanted this one to look a bit more modern and nice, I really wanted to clean this one up, so I'm really happy with that. You can see with the second tray that we worked on earlier, I added some of the marker lines just to give it a bit more of a rustic look. So with the trimmings here on the printable, you can select which trimmings you want for each tray. You can mix and match. It's totally up to you, but I have done them so they match the style of each tray that has been done already. So when you're sticking this down, you want to use the second loop or handle part and stick that over one of your handles. Just go across, so you don't go from the first set of handles that's been made on this strip, you go from the second. And the reason why is because I've done a little bit of an overhang that you might want to tuck under, and it'll be a bit awkward to do it if you started with the first loop of the handle. Hope that makes sense, but I'll show you here. So you just simply add the glue to your strip and then stick the strip all the way around the rim of your tray. Again, this is just to neaten up any pieces. This is optional. You do not have to do this. You can keep it as is, but if you don't want to see any of the parts where they join together, this is just a really nice way to do it. It just makes it look a little bit cleaner, in my personal opinion. So then you just stick the handle part of the paper over the handle part of the actual tray itself, and just take your time removing any glue. You can do that part after as well, but just stick it all the way around, and it really is very sturdy. Considering this is just paper and cardstock, it comes out really sturdy, so I was really happy with this. And then you can see the overlap there, but when we fold it over onto the other side, it will just overlap and you won't really be able to see that. And then you just stick this all the way around onto the other side until it covers the handle as well, just like this. And then you do what I just showed you with the black tray. Just cut out the, obviously let it set and dry first, because you do not want it splitting and tearing, but if you do, you can print it again, so that's always a plus. But just let that dry, and once it has, then you can cut out the holes for the handle and do the same with the other tray. And there we have ourselves a set of tray, guys. It's really awesome. I'm so glad I was able to use just paper and the stuff that I had around the house to do this without using any wood, and it's not really too difficult to do. So let me know if you guys want to try this out. The link is in the description for this. And then get styling, get decorating your houses. We've got modern trays, rustic trays, extra modern, whatever you like. So stay tuned for part 2, where I show you how to make the cups. We've got wine bottles, plates, wine racks, all made in this same bundle that is now available on Etsy. So don't forget to get yours and let me know how it goes, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and got some value from it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe.